Hi guys and welcome back to the Blues Focus channel for another opposition view video. Today I am joined by Elliot Yates. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Bit nervous for the game, but hopefully we can get all 3 points. Sorry.
I would agree with you, but I'm definitely the opposite on that one. I think we need it more than you do, to be fair, unless you still kind of want a late playoff push. But I mean, who knows? If Tyrese Campbell was in the squad, I'm sure you'd be closer to it than you are. But we'll certainly touch on that. I'll leave you links and stuff in the description for everyone to check out. But the main one to go look at, guys, is Delilah debate. Quite new, but they're getting some guests on there like we do, and there's a few people that they want to get on that I'm sure Blues fans are definitely go and watch themselves. So yeah, and there's plenty of other stuff Elliot does as well. So if you check out his Twitter as well, I'll drop that in the description. But no, thank you for joining us on such short notice as well. It's very much appreciated, mate. So that's great. As usual, I'll go straight into things then. Overall thoughts of your season so far. How you feeling?
Well, we started off the season really well. I mean, we were looking like we were going to get into the playoffs this season for the start of it. I mean, Campbell was linking up really nicely with Fletcher. We had Harry Sutar, which was our newfound defender that we've been missing for ages, and he's been solid as a rock all season. But then it kind of all fell apart around Christmas because we had a situation where two of our first choice goalkeepers got injured, which meant we had to bring back Joe Bursick, who was on loan in League One. And we had to, so played Spurs in a Carabao Cup quarter final. And all three goalkeepers were out. Two were injured. One was cup tied. So we had to bring in someone like Andy Lonergan just to play the game. Like, we've had so many injury problems. Sam Klukas got injured around the same time. John Owen Mikel got injured at the same time. Campbell got injured and he's been out for the remainder of the season. We had such a bad injury crisis. We still had Joe Allen out as well, which didn't help. We had such a bad injury crisis that we just kept slipping down the table. I mean, we did okay, but compared to where we were second in November, and now we're probably 11th now from where I've last checked.
Yeah, you are 11th at the moment.
So I think we've just been very sort of unlucky with injuries, but you can see there's some sort of quality there. Your likes of Stephen Fletcher's been outstanding. I mentioned Harry Sutar. He's been incredible this year, and your fans won't like this, but the ex-Villa captain, James Chester, he's been brilliant for us this year, despite having pretty bad season. Nick Powell as well has also been quite good as well. So I'd say that we have times where we can gel together, but without them sort of like the Campbells, for instance, we've been really lacking goals.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I've got a few Stoke mates, and obviously it's. I think your injury list was something like 11 or 12 at one point.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It was that bad, and I did a few other podcasts, and I actually had Stoke down as my dark horse for playoffs, just because of that early season run you had, and I was so impressed. So no, obviously there were some big losses, particularly Tyrese Campbell, who I think is kind of his goal contributions to game ratio is something crazy this season. So to lose such a key figure like that, but in fairness, Stephen Fletcher on his day has stepped up where he can and showed the quality he's got.
The problem with Fletcher is that he's very injury prone, though. So
Definitely.
if he gets injured, then we have Jacob Brown up front, who scored, I think, 3 goals this year, and Sam Vokes, who hasn't actually scored at all this year. He's had a very poor season. So we have to rely on him, but he gets so injury prone. He's so injury prone that we can't always do that.
100%. I mean, Jacob Brown he's just recently started scoring. To be fair, I think I think he's got 2 goals quite recently, if I recall rightly. But I suppose that's something to look forward to because he's still quite a young lad. So if you could build on a player like that, then that's great. But there is so much potential in that Stoke squad. And I think right now you're also seeing the best of Nick Powell recently as well, which is good.
He's been our star player this season, I think, him and Harry Sutar. Nick Powell's got 12 goals this year, and he's taken over the sort of Campbell role, if you like, and become the main man. The problem is that Tyrese, would hopefully get 20 goals by now, which is what we've been missing. But Nick Powell's got 12. So Nick Powell's more of a creative type player, and Campbell's more of a goal scorer. And we've definitely missed Campbell a lot. And everyone says, where's the problem gone at Stoke? And it's like, oh, we're just lacking a bit of creativity in the final third, i.e. Campbell. So I think
Yeah.
had we had Campbell this year, I think we would have been in a much better spot than we are now. But yeah, hopefully I think we can get maybe a top 10 finish.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a realistic push, and I think if you hadn't had all the injuries you'd had, I honestly think you'd probably be in the top six. Especially with if Campbell had maintained the form that he was in before he got injured, then Christ, you'd be a lot further up the table than you are. So no, that's it's obviously unfortunate, but I think there's a lot you can look forward to for next season, especially when you get fans back in. I mean, at the start of games, I always love the singing Delilah at the start of the game just because it's so loud. So that's it's just something to be proud of. I'm sure that first one back will be
Yeah.
it'd be like an eruption. So that would definitely be good. But there's a lot of promising. Even Joe Bursick, to be fair, I think
Yeah.
he's actually got quite a few clean sheets since he's come into that Stoke squad.
Yeah, well, he's gone
Um,
on an emergency loan to Peterborough, which because he wasn't playing. So I don't really.
yeah,
So what I said about the goalkeeper situation. So basically, all those goalkeepers are back. So he was effectively third choice, and he's
yeah,
gone on loan to Peter on an emergency loan, and you can tell he wants to play. I think there's no doubt about
definitely.
that. I think Davis is probably the number one at the moment. He's kept 3 clean sheets in 4. He looks a lot better than maybe Angus Gunn has done in recent games,
Mm.
but Bursic 100% is one for the future. I reckon if Davis leaves or maybe or gets a bigger move or something like that, I reckon Bursic's just going to go straight in at number 1. So we're already thinking about the future, and our academy system's been brilliant this year. Well, particularly with the likes of Harry Suter, Nathan Collins, Tyrese Campbell, as we just mentioned, all
Yeah.
these players coming through from the academy. And if anything, the relegation's been a blessing in disguise for all these academy
Emerging
players coming
talents,
through
yeah,
because maybe they wouldn't
100%.
have got the chance.
I completely agree, mate. I think one of my first scout reports I ever wrote was on Nathan Collins, and I was so impressed. It was the game where you beat Middlesbrough 1-0 at home, and he scored the winner.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, I watched him during that game, and I was so impressed with him. I think he played. I think he actually played right back, despite
Yeah, yeah.
naturally being more of a centre half. Um,
We have played him there at times, and I think it's brilliant because he's more of a footballer. I think that's what O'Neill sees in him because he's more of a
yeah,
footballer than he's a ball playing defender. And you need that sort of creativity on your flanks, like you see the fullbacks these days bombing forward.
he's
He
a
can
big
definitely
lad as well.
I mean, Pulis used to play centre backs at right back, but what Pulis's job? I actually talked to Gabriel Zakuani, who played there for Stoke,
Yeah,
and on the Delilah debate we've talked about, and he basically said he was literally like the furthest right centre back. He wasn't. So Nathan Collins doesn't really do that. He's kind of like bombing forward and all that. So that's not really his responsibility when he's playing right back. He's more sort of the footballing sense, get the ball down, play passes, and get over the channels, make overlapping runs, get crosses in, get into the box like he did against Middlesbrough, get headers in. And he's a quality player. It's a shame that he's injured because I think we'd be a lot more defensively sound
yeah.
had he been in the squad.
100%. That's just another one. I mean, you've come quite far in that sense. I remember when you had bloody Cuco Martina at right back. I doubt you'll want to bring that back up, but yeah.
Forgot about him. It's been like 2 years, I think, since anyone's mentioned his
Yeah.
name. It's like he shall not be named.
Maybe you should get him on the Delilah debate. Why not?
Yeah, maybe just see what his time was like there. How he maybe got treated. Yeah, could be a good one.
Definitely, yeah. No, I think what impressed me most in Nathan Collins was the fact that he's such a big lad, and the way he's able to control the ball and his first touch, first time passing was just all really
Yeah,
really good.
yeah,
Generally in build up play as well. So no, definitely a good talent you got in there, and obviously you mentioned Suter, who was good under Barton at Fleetwood. I thought.
yeah.
Uh, they were unlucky not to do better than they did last season, I thought. So, yeah, no, there's plenty of talents you can pick out. Particularly, I mean, even Lasse Sorensen's doing all right at MK Dons.
Yeah, I heard he's doing okay. Heard he's sort of been in the squad like in and out a bit, but
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of like his first loan move, I think it's been a very successful one for him. Maybe he can go out on loan to another club and then do a bit better. But yeah, he's not a bad option, last, and yeah, I think he'd be okay.
Definitely, even Josh Timon as well. I think
Yeah.
before the Portuguese loan move, I was a bit ishy about him because
Yeah, I mean, he played one game against Middlesbrough and effectively just saved his Stoke career because he played like really well, got 2 assists, and we thought,
yeah,
wow, like, who's this? You know what I mean? And ever since then, he's kind of been in the squad. There was talks of him maybe going on loan, but he's end of the day, he's a brilliant squad player to have.
100%. I remember when he got subbed off after like 20 minutes under Nathan Jones
Yeah,
2 seasons ago. I can't remember who it was against, but I just remember he got subbed off because he was that bad for the opening 20, 25 minutes or so. So yeah, but then obviously I think they really liked him in Portugal. That Portuguese team that he went to, they were pushing for top spot, I think. So yeah, no, that's clearly helped him, and he's come back with much more confidence and has played well when called upon. So it's just another young product you've got there. So it's definitely
yeah.
exciting at Stoke right now. But I suppose kind of talking about players and stuff, who should Blues fans look out for today on the pitch?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is immediately Nick Powell. He's
Yeah,
been a star man this season since Tyrese Campbell's now out for the rest of the season. He's creative. He'll run at defenders. He'll try and create chances, play balls in behind. He's definitely one to look out for. 12 goals this season. He's definitely a goal scoring threat, even in midfield. Second one I'd say is probably Stephen Fletcher, who's up front for our striker. He's got 9 goals this year, and he's kind of now the main goal scoring responsibility since Campbell's now, left the side. He's got a
yeah.
mean free kick on him. He's got flair. He's a bit of a maverick. I mean, if you want to compare him to a former Stoke player, he always gives me a sort of little bit of Marko Arnautovic feel going on with him. He's not as good as Marko Arnautovic, but he's got that sort of, maverick kind of style and all that. There's definitely a trick in him somewhere. And then the third one I would say is Sutar. If you watch Sutar for this game, listen to how many times the commentator says, "Oh, that's a good block by Sutar," or "Sutar's there again." It'll be so many times, I guarantee you, because he just intercepts everything. He's 6'6".
I was going to
He,
say he's massive.
he's massive. Yeah, exactly. He's massive, but he's got brilliant ball control. He commands the defense well, and for such a young lad, that's brilliant. And he's got James Chester, Danny Bart with him as well, two experienced lads. I think
Yeah.
our defense could be fairly sound. Bart's had a bit of a mistake last game, I think, but hopefully
Oh
he can
Jesus, I
put it
saw
right
that.
today because he's done quite well. And I think till against you lot last year, he scored and then went on a scoring spree of scoring like 2-2 or something. So he's another goal
I
scoring threat.
remember that, yeah. I mean, even if you look at the reverse fixture this season, it's funny you mentioned Powell and Fletcher. Fletcher almost scored a worldie against Etheridge in the reverse fixture.
Yeah,
I think he had a free kick that hit the
yeah,
bar
did it
or
hit?
the post.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and it would have been beautiful if it had gone in, but obviously I'm glad it didn't. And then we take the lead. I think we're going to hold on. And then 85th minute, Powell scores the most p-roller goal I've ever seen. It
Yeah.
just it took a deflection off Mark Roberts, I think, and then just slowly just
Yeah.
went
I
across
mean,
the bar.
Campbell created it with his movement out wide, so
Yeah.
we'll be missing that, and you won't have that anymore. So you could hold out, but hopefully not.
100%. I mean, I think it's funny you mentioned Nick Powell because the podcast we do, when we did our preview for the game, I said, so long as we get somebody to stay on Powell the whole game and to put 2 feet on him at any point, any Stoke players at the moment seem to just get injured like nobody's business. So if you 2 foot him, take him out of the game, they're not. You take out
Well, I
Stoke.
mean, if he's on the floor, I wouldn't say like hold. I wouldn't say like. Well, what was I going to say? If he's on the floor, then basically don't get your hopes up because every time you see Nick Powell on the television, he's on the floor. Like something's wrong
One
with
of
him.
those
I mean, in my
players.
opinion, I think he's probably lost a contact lens when he first joined and just been trying to find it on the grass. Like he's on the floor that much. He's on the floor that much, and so yeah, if he does go down injured, don't celebrate too quickly. He goes down injured a lot.
It'll have to be more of an Aaron Ramsey leg break then.
Yeah, that'll probably keep him out.
100%. I'll make sure Holly Dean's on his best today. No, I literally said like if we pick out Nick Powell, then great. I think that's the one that we need to watch the most because there's a reason he was at Man United back in the day.
Yeah, there's exciting talent at Crew as well. Everyone knew about him at Stoke because he was at Crew as such a young lad and he burst onto the scene. So we're all very excited that we've got this player, and he's definitely a Premier League quality player as well, I think. I mean, there's a few in the Stoke
100%.
squad. There's a few in the Stoke squad, or a few in the making in the Stoke squad, and they seem to be our best players, and we just need to add to that, and then hopefully we can get to the Premier League and stay there. Maybe not sort of like West Brom have done this season, where you've seen them sort of not invest money and gone up maybe too quickly. Hopefully we can just sort of stay in the Championship for a bit, get a bit of quality, become a bit like Leeds or Wolves or something like that, bit of quality in the Championship, and then maybe go back up and do really well again.
Exactly, and even when you go up, it'd just be like, just go back to Stoke. Really, just go back to what you were, because obviously, there was the saying a bit of a team like Stoke sort of thing.
Yeah,
You'd get kind of reference to as a bit of a shit house Premier
yeah.
League side, but you'd always just edge top 10 or something. So
Yeah, we played nice football under Hughes, and then Pulis sort of had his methods and long throws, and it was just brilliant to play against. It was like us versus like everyone else. Nobody wanted us to do well, and we wanted to do well. It was just brilliant time to be a Stoke fan.
exactly. I mean, you had the Delap throws, Ricardo Fuller as well at the time. Shout out to him, because in his prime, what a player he was. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we just played for set pieces really, and just completely just destroyed teams through that. I think I've got a Stoke like goal compilation on DVD. It's like 90% of them are just free kicks and corners and throw-ins, and you
That's
just get
not
the
the worst thing in
occasional
the
one.
world.
You just get the occasional one that's in open play.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I suppose that kind of talking about memories and stuff, that leads us well on to the next question. What's your favourite memory on playing Birmingham?
Favorite memory on playing Birmingham, right? So there's a couple that sort of stand out. There's I think the one last year is all right because I kind of just had a good day. I met my mates and stuff like for the first time in ages, so that was just a decent day. In terms of like the football sense, I'd say we beat you 3-2 in the 2010-11 season.
Yep.
Ricardo Fuller scored an amazing goal and just took on Ferguson, I think his name, I don't know his first name, and
Yeah, Barry Ferguson.
just went through like the whole defense before like putting it past Ben Foster. So that's a brilliant goal, brilliant memory. But another one I would say is we played you in the League Cup
Oh,
in
what a game! What a
2013.
game!
Like not for the sort of like the greatest moment, but it was just such a brilliant game. Like if no one remembers, basically it was 3-3 in, I think, was it 2-2 in normal time? And it was like 4-4 after extra time or something. It was just a
Literally.
brilliant game. We won on penalties. I just went off and I thought, what a brilliant game of football. And just, I think that one as well has got to be one just because of how great the game was.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, as well, you're a Premier League at the time. You had a good squad. I remember it was Stephen and Zonzi who scored the winning penalty in the end.
Yeah, what a player.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there you go, another massive player you've had. So no, like that season as well, to do that was kind of unheard of for us, because that was the season. A lot of people said to have seen it. It's the Paul Caddis
Yeah,
goal
I've
at
seen that.
Bolton when we stayed up on goal difference. It was the same season as that, so we were shot. We were literally shit in the league at the time.
Yeah,
We weren't great. So to do that against a Premier League side was massive at the time. Because it was a very young squad, bar like Peter Lovenkrands. So, but yeah, no, I remember that. There was Lovenkrands late goal. There was an Ollie Lee late goal from outside the box. It was
yeah,
just overall a great game. Really enjoyable. And I did not feel hard done by losing on penalties. I didn't really care too much because we needed to focus on the league anyway.
yeah,
But it was still just a great spectacle and a great game of football.
yeah.
Even that, that 10-11 game, I think we were 2-0 down, brought it back to 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
And then
Cameron Jerome, another former Stoke and Blues player, put them
oh,
both
that
cameras.
was one that I was trying to think of earlier. I knew that was the one I was trying to think of earlier when we were talking about it, because I was like, striker. There was somebody that was a striker, and it just wouldn't come to me. But yeah, no, that's another one. I mean, we definitely love to get Cameron Jerome on one day. I think he just doesn't really have any kind of social media that
Yeah.
he really posts on, but who knows? Maybe we can get Cam Jerome on one day, but we'll see. So no, there's been plenty of great games, like you say. So kind of back towards Stoke, where do you think you'll finish this season?
So I said at the start of the season that we'd finish ninth, and I think I'm going to stick to that because I think given the form that we've maybe had since maybe Adam Davis has come back in and we've kind of started to gel this side that's been riddled by injuries, I think we're probably going to finish ninth. And I think we've got a fairly good run in. I think there's games that we can easily win there. There's games that we probably won't win in there. But I think overall, I think we'll probably go in finish in ninth place and just have a decent end to the season. Like maybe go on like a sort of 3 games win in a row or something like that. I think that'll probably be what O'Neill does. We always seem to end the season quite well with O'Neill when we've just struggled. Like last season in particularly, we just we beat Nottingham Forest 4-1 with like nothing to play
Yeah.
for or something like that. So we always seem to have like a fairly good end to the season with O'Neill. So I think it was. I think I'll go. Finish ninth this season, building it for next season. Get maybe another striker in. I'd love to someone like that who can get a load of goals for us and combine well with Campbell and get Fletcher maybe more as a back squad player, but he's in his 30s anyway, so maybe it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'd say that.
100%. Yeah, no, I think you'll get top 10. I think that squad is more than deserving of a top 10 finish, if not more, if it was all fully fit over the due course of the season. But it's just one of the things is football in an injury. Injury is never nice, but it can. To be fair, we've been quite lucky this season. We've not had too many major injuries. We've only got one injury coming into this game, and that's John Terrell. So and he's not exactly set the world on fire this season, so it's not a massive miss. But yeah, no, I think you'll get ninth, and if you go on a really good run of form, there's no reason why you can't get seventh or eighth, and you dream towards the end of the season. But obviously, I think a lot of people will remember that Forest game that you mentioned because Forest had everything to play for.
Yeah, we had nothing to play for.
Precisely, and you've gone and stole the playoffs from them, literally.
Yeah, I remember Swansea put a tweet out saying we've done it, and all the Stoke fans were like, we've done it more like.
I was gonna say, where's the thank you? I'd be tagging the official Stoke Twitter in the tweet and be like, cheers, lads. So yeah, but here we are. I suppose moving on anyway. Then, what are your thoughts on us at the moment?
Well, I mean, I wasn't really too confident about you when you had Karanka in charge, but I don't think that really worked out anyway. That'll be a period you probably look back on and think, Jesus Christ, that was a tough period.
Literally.
I think at the start of the season, I was quite shocked that you signed Etheridge, and I thought, wow, that's a big signing, a statement of intent from the club, because he was like a Premier League standard keeper at one point, doing really well in there. And he's come to Birmingham, I'm thinking, wow, they must have some really good ambition in that. But I've not really seen too much of that this season, but I think Scott Hogan's probably one that we know a lot about, having played for us in the past. And
yeah,
every Stoke player that sort of plays against us, they generally do quite well when they sort of come back to their old stomping ground. They probably want to put one past us. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the score sheet. In terms of like where you are, I don't really know too much about you, but I know little bits and pieces here and there, like the Scott Hogan situation. Bowyer, I think, is a top manager. I think at Charlton he did an excellent job, even though they got relegated. He kept them sort of like afloat with like the finances. Did the best that he could with some of the players he had to get in, because I think Charlton at the time had to basically just rely on loan players or academy players, and then a few people here and there who are in the first team, like Lyle Taylor, for instance. So the fact that he can get Charlton to maybe just miss out on staying up with like basically academy players in his side just shows he's a top manager, and I think he's a top manager. So I think you've got a really good manager, and you can hopefully build from there. And plus, Lee Bowyer knows Birmingham, because Lee Bowyer's played for Birmingham in the past, knows their identity, what the fans want to see. So I reckon you'll have a very bright future. You're just in a bit of a sticky patch at the moment.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't think you could have put it any better than that. It's bang on. And in fairness, since Bowyer has come in, what a turnaround it's been. His first 4 games were against 4 top 6 sides. So, you had Swansea, Reading, Watford and Brentford. And that's not exactly the start you want as a manager in this league. It's grim.
No, and I would say I'm so glad for the Swansea game, because we had a penalty given against us in the last minute against Swansea. I mean, if you look at it, it's a clear dive. I mean,
it's not a pen. It's
not a pen at all. So the fact you did that, all the Stoke fans were celebrating that, giving it large, because we've now got a little bit of a hatred for Swansea going on because of all that. So, because at the end of the game, they sort of are like celebrate. And I think there's a picture of Andre Ayew basically laughing at Jack Clark. It's like, come on, mate, grow up. 31-year-old laughing at a 20-year-old kid. You know what I mean? So,
I was going to say, yeah, there's a bit of an age gap there, so I don't understand that. But I don't know. Here we are. I mean, we almost signed Jack Clark, to be fair, but that move fell through. Well, how's he actually been for you?
So yeah, Jack Clark's had to be recalled because of injury. Like I said, we got injury problems. Like
Another one.
you know what I mean? It's another injury problem. He was there for like I think a couple of months, but he was really good, and he's one that I think we're definitely going to be looking forward to get back on loan next year. So we'd have a sort of a front three of my ideal front three. I don't know about if we can get Johnson, Clark, Harris, but I'm a massive fan of his.
Oh,
well, my ideal front three would be Clark, Campbell, and Clark Harris. Just sort of like the two Clarks combining, if you like, and then you've got Campbell sort of in there and doing well. So I think that'll be ideal. But
the three C's. That's how I see it. Clark, Campbell, and Clark Harris. There you go, the three C's.
Yeah, 3C. The CC.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I think there's definitely a lot to look forward to. And obviously you've got wealthy owners, so there's no reason why you can't.
Yeah, particularly if FFP gets scrapped as well. I think we'd be able to spend a little bit more, maybe get a few more quality players in. And we got so our objective when we first went down to the championship was go straight back up. And you saw we bought Benica Phobie, Tom Ince, Peter Etterbo, and you could see it was about £50 million we were spending. And then we finished 16th. And then we had massive financial fair play problems, which you've obviously experienced in the past. And
100%.
I mean, spends a penny in a while, So
we're both back on it now, though. Both of our clubs I know that.
I think Stoke's removed on that one because it was more of a sort of like administration thing rather than a financial problem. But
Exactly.
I don't know what your situation is with that.
Yeah, same for us. The club's been quiet about it, but it is just administrative reasons, and the EFL ballsed up about it anyway because the government had given an extended period of time for football clubs, but the EFL, as usual, did their usual thing, jumped straight in without actually paying attention. But here we are, is what it is. So yeah, no, I thought the only good signing from that kind of row early days was Peter Atibo. I thought on his day he was quality.
Well, me and my dad watched him at the World Cup for Nigeria, and he was incredible. He played against Argentina and just set the place line. And all the pundits were saying like Stoke got a bargain here. I remember he took a free kick, and Jermaine Genius, as he was taking it, said if he scores this, he's got the lot. This lad. And I was thinking, oh my god! And he nearly scored. It was an insane free kick, and just nearly scored, but he didn't quite get it. And I thought we've got a player on our hands, but I think the attitude probably wasn't there. I don't think he had as good an attitude as maybe O'Neill wanted. He got dropped by O'Neill. I mean, he was a good player, but I think in sort of O'Neill's management style, it doesn't really fit him because he wants sort of players that commit to the club and all that. And I think he made it pretty clear when he came in, I want to leave. And he's gone out on 2 loan stints because, FFP, we can't really afford players.
He's one of them, I think, wasn't it?
And Galatasaray, he's on loan. He's on loan at the moment. It's a good club, to be fair, Champions League club, so he's got quality. But he obviously doesn't see his future at Stoke. So good luck to the lad. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's obviously a shame because I did think he was a quality player, and I think if you had gone up to the Premier League, he'd probably still be with you now, obviously. But
exactly.
It's just one of them that you really hope works out and then doesn't. It was like us with Diego Fabrini. I remember signing him. What a flop that was. I mean, even when we signed Hotter from Brentford, who just before that was on fire. Signing for 6 mil, biggest flop I've ever seen at Blues. I just it was so disappointing.
Probably the biggest flop at Villa as well. So
yeah, true. He obviously got released. So yeah, but I remember pre-season they were all like, "Oh my god, you've given us your best player. He's sick." Because he got 1 assist against Walsall in a pre-season friendly. But apparently, if that's what it takes to make someone your best player, then fair play to him. But I'm sure that they would happily forget about him now and just focus on Ollie Watkins and all that jazz. So, but yeah, no, here we are. I suppose finally then, mate, what's your score prediction?
So I could see it being a draw. Like realistically, I'd say a 1-1 draw because I think we could be open at the back, and with our injury problems, we're not going to be able to score a lot. So I'd say a 1-1 draw realistically. But if I'm thinking ambitiously, we play to our best, I go 2-0 Stoke.
Yeah, I can see that, and think For me personally, I hate predicting Blues to win because it tends to backfire on
I mean,
me.
I never really predict Stoke scores. Like, so you're very lucky I got this one because I just always seem to always like jinx it in a way. I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm really confident going to this
Yep,
game,
I'm the
and
same,
then we'll lose. Like, then we'll be like 3-0 down at half time. You know what I mean? So
mate. Exactly. Like I feel like we're gonna win. I'm gonna say 3-1. Feel like I'm feeling a 3-1 today,
I
but
don't think I'm thinking a 3-1 to you today. I mean, I am probably biased in this one, but I think Adam Davis is a very good goalkeeper, so I don't think I can really see him conceding three, if that sort of makes sense. I don't think that's happened before,
yeah,
actually.
no, it's I get that. It's weird because we've played such attacking football under Bowyer, so I know we'll try and look to continue that. So no, I feel like we always seem to do well against you at St Andrews. You never
Yeah,
really fare well at St Andrews. So if that can also play a part, and I think we need the win more than you do. Um, and this is one of our better fixtures towards the
mm,
end of the
yeah,
season compared to what we've had. So if we can get 3 points, then great, that's ideal. But would I still take a point against Stoke? Yes, because it's still a valuable point at the end of the day, and I think it could be very easily like a 2-2 or a 1-1.
yeah. It could be a good game because both sides are sort of play fairly decent football, and you've got a newfound attacking style. We've kind of got a fairly good sort of defensive rock. I think that'll be a great battle to see.
Definitely, and it wouldn't surprise me if you managed to shit out something out of us. If we're having a mare on the day, like it'll be 3 or 4 nil. I can guarantee you. If we start off badly, then it will end badly. Unfortunately, that tends to be the way it goes. So
Don't really. So kind of, I got you there.
I think we can both relate with our clubs. We've definitely had up and downs to say the least. The ups of the Premier League years and then the downs of now the Championship. I was saying to my mate, my mate Jake, I'll give him a little shout out. But yeah, no, he thought the Championship would be a lot easier when Stoke were relegated. He kind of looked
Yeah.
forward to it because everyone was predicting you to go up in first
Yeah.
place and stuff.
We played a preseason game against Walsall, and it was a great day out. But I remember we were 2-0 up after 5 minutes, and everyone just said, "We're gonna win the league. We're gonna,"
Yeah.
everyone was so confident we were going to win the league or just like do really well. But there was underlying problems at the club. There's the attitude problems, and O'Neill's come in and dealt with that firsthand, and we seem to be in a lot better place now because of it. And I think Blues will obviously benefit from that. I mean, like I said with Bowyer, brilliant manager, but I think also players like Scotty Hogan and stuff like that. I mean, I know a little bit about Blues. I'll give a shout to my mate Tom Devy as well. He's a massive Blues fan. So I think they're a decent side, and I think they could cause us some problems, particularly with the management they've now got. Because you thought they were always a decent side, but I think the management sort of with Crankin, no one really played to their strengths, and then Bowyer's come in and found out everyone's strengths and sort of trying to use
Precisely.
that. Yeah.
100%, mate. That is it. That is it. It's like we've gone back to basics, made things simple, and made everyone feel comfortable. And that's the main thing. That was what we were missing, and it's what we got now. And we are starting to see the quality that is in our squad. Because I'm telling you now, our squad on paper should not be where it is.
Yeah.
It should be at least kind of like 12th. So it's frustrating, but hopefully we can stay up and then pick ourselves up going into next season. I know Bo's already got plans on who he's looking at, what he wants to bring in, and he said the budget he's got here is over double of what he had at Charlton. So he can really look to build something here, and hopefully he can do that, and we shall see. But that sort of wrap things up there, really, mate. It's been great hearing from you, great having you on. I always enjoy these. It's great to kind of hear from the opposite side and how you're feeling and stuff. So no, thank you for coming on. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate. I would wish you luck for the game, but I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, but thank you very much for having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's great, mate. I'm the same. I wish you luck for the rest of the season, bar today. So
Yeah, same here.
there we are. I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, no, thank you, mate. And obviously, guys, go check out the Delilah debate, and also go check out Elliot on Twitter. And yeah, just look at what he's getting up to. He's quite a busy man these days, aren't you? So obviously, hopefully things work out with the Delilah debate and you can get some more good gets on. And if we get any
Yeah.
ex-Stoke, I'll certainly send them your
Yeah.
way. So
Also on the Bear Pit as well. So definitely check out that. It's the #1 Stoke fan channel, and yeah, quite well known in the past, but yeah, we're still going strong with that. So yeah, check out that as well.
that's brilliant. So yeah, thanks for joining us as always, guys. It's been a pleasure having anyone who's tuned in. And the comments have been absolutely fantastic recently. They mean more than you know. It definitely motivates me more to do what I do. So yeah, no, it's great. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep right on.